Hey everybody, it's Ed from the Whiskey Tangent Podcast here with another Whiskey Short. And joining me as always is Scott.
Hey everybody.
And also we have two very, very special guests. You've heard them before, but now they're back better than ever. The Whiskey Chicks, Alleah.
How you doing?
And Paula.
Hello everyone.
And we're here to do what, Scott?
We are here to do the Remus Repeal Reserve Series VII QuickTaste.
Whiskey Short.
So, Ed, of course, talked all about who George Remus was on part 2 and 3 of our very first Whiskeyumentary on Prohibition way back in season 2. Please go back and listen to that if you haven't. It's excellent.
If we do say so ourselves.
Yes. But
I agree.
Yes, and Paula agrees. Alleah, maybe not.
I always agree. I'm never disagreeable.
But just to give a brief synopsis, I have 3 paragraphs, most of which is from a review of the Remus Series I that was posted at thecasks.com. So it's 3 paragraphs, and then we will drink this hopefully delicious liquid.
Remus Series 1?
Yes.
Doing the background of the releases, but not this particular one.
Correct.
Okay.
Are you reading all 3 paragraphs?
I am.
It's story time with Scott.
Yeah.
Go.
And you can interrupt if you have something funny to say, as Ed often does. The repeal part of Remus Repeal Reserve refers to the repeal of Prohibition. The Remus part refers to George Remus, the legendary bootlegger who made a huge fortune during the early part of Prohibition. However, by the time Repeal Day rolled around on December 5th, 1933, Remus had pretty much lost all his money, spent far too little time in prison for killing his wife, which is to say no time, and had reinvented himself as an innocuous, straight-laced businessman. Repeal Day, of course, marked the end of the colossal American social blunder known as Prohibition when the 21st Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was ratified. Today, the date has provided alcohol marketers with another wonderful opportunity to romanticize the odd, occasionally violent, and tragic bygone era in hopes of selling more alcohol. Ironically, there are now probably more than a few people waking up feeling miserable on the day after Repeal Day, wondering if repealing Prohibition was such a good idea in the first place. First released in 2017, the Remus Repeal Reserve Straight Bourbon Whiskey was the second bourbon released by Ross & Squibbs, aka MGP's George Remus brand. The first release, the Remus Straight Bourbon Whiskey, is a standard, widely available bottling, while the Repeal Reserve is more limited. Today, they have 4 additional Remus expressions, and of course, this is the 7th release in the Remus Repeal Reserve series. And you may recall that we have tasted Series 5 on Doug's Vault, and Series 6 made it all the way to the final pour in this year's Whiskey Madness tournament.
Right, so you want to read the specs on this one?
Yeah, Ed, they're all in the bottle.
I just want to say that, Scott, that was very good reading.
Oh, well, thank you.
It was very informative. I loved it.
Hooked on Phonics worked for you.
Learn to read with Hooked on Phonics, the musical reading program.
Hooked on Phonics works for me.
Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.
On phonics.
Love it.
So the Remus Repeal Reserve, like all of the Remuses so far that I know, have been 100 proof. This one's made up of 5 distinct bourbons, 6% of a 2007 bourbon that's 21% rye, 26% of a 2013 bourbon, also 21% rye, 21% of a 2014 bourbon that's also 21% rye, 26% of a 2013 bourbon that's 36% rye, and finally 21% of a 2014 bourbon that is 36% rye. And those 5 bourbons have been mixed together and crafted in a specially blended way for us to enjoy today. And here we are. I've had the 5, I've had the 6. I don't know if I had the 4 or not.
I don't think I did.
I don't remember.
Have you ladies had any of the Remus Repeal Reserve?
I am not.
I'm going to say no. I don't think I have.
This will be a special treat.
The 6 was good. The 5 is one of the best bourbons I've ever had.
Delicious. Absolutely.
Top 3, top 5 for me.
Gorgeous
Absolutely.
whiskey, really.
I wish I had another bottle of that. That's my only regret. That is my only regret in life.
Oh, that's your only regret?
My only regret
So
in life
far.
is
So
not
far.
buying another bottle of the Remus 5.
Did we mention the proof?
100.
It is
They're
100.
all 100.
Yes. So we'll just we have it in our neat glasses.
Yeah, we're swirling our neat glasses. Once again, if you'd like to join the neat glass party, you're way overdue. It's a fabulous drinking glass. One of the most famous whiskey and spirit tasting glass in the world. You can also taste tequila and barrel-aged rum and gin and really anything.
Wine, cocktails.
Anything you like to get a good, clean flavor, but definitely has an advantage against high-proof spirits. So please go to theneatglass.com, and if you put in Whiskey Tan, you get 10% off your first order. So, hey, I say go for an even dozen, right?
Sure.
If you don't have that many friends, 6 is fine.
Make George happy, not George Remus. George, the neat glass guy.
I feel like you guys need specially engraved Whiskey Tangent neat glasses.
Oh, your lips to George's ears.
He's offered that. We just never took him up on it, to
We
be perfectly
didn't.
honest. He's offered it
was
several
gonna say.
times.
We didn't get it for free, is what I mean.
Yeah, right.
Just saying.
No, I mean, he sent us cases, but he said we could have engraved it, but we didn't know what we wanted to do with it. So we're like, no, let's not. We were trying not to be too greedy, I guess.
Yeah, so what are you smelling?
Honey.
Yeah,
Oh,
I get like a
no,
nice-
I'm not talking to you, Ed.
I got excited from like yesterday.
Good answer, though.
I suppose the other
Vanilla.
answer is what I'm drinking. Maybe a sandwich.
Oh, my God.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just kidding. They brought lovely charcuterie board. Check out the pictures for the episode that's on Instagram.
Yeah. I am smelling some caramel, though, on this.
Yep. I was going to say the same, caramel and vanilla.
Yep. same.
I got brown sugar.
I'm going to combine that to almost a butterscotch.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
Ooh,
Nice.
toffee.
Yes.
I want to say more toffee than butterscotch.
Maybe a little maple?
I can see where you're going with that.
Definitely oaky. Like the end of the scent is very oaky.
I get a little maple. I'm getting a little mint.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, a little mint on the nose. Let's take a sip.
Yeah. Oh, so the mint is definitely there
Oh,
on
wow.
the taste.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't get it so much on the smell, though. But
It
yeah.
came in late. I stayed with the nose longer than I normally do, and I got mint at the end of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I like this.
I also did a technique that I'd seen online where you dab a little bit on your wrists like perfume.
I watched,
really?
I
Yeah.
watched you do that from
And,
the corner of my eye, and I was a little concerned.
Yeah, and,
Interesting.
it brings out some different things. It's almost like, I don't know, just
As it evaporates on
Yeah.
your skin.
Right, because it evaporates the alcohol.
it's a very small amount. So
Yeah.
and then if you come back to it after it evaporates in a couple seconds with such a small amount, it changes a lot quicker, kind of like a glass would as you drink it or as you add ice or water to it, you know?
This is good, but like I didn't even get to the palate, so I'm rushing right to the finish. But sorry, ladies. The finish is a little quick. It doesn't linger.
Now, see, it does for me.
It burns. See, I don't know. We talked about this before. I'm getting for 100 proof whiskey, this has a very long burn in my throat.
Yes.
The burn lasts.
The burn is actually longer than the 126 proof larceny we just had an hour ago.
This does taste hotter than 100, and the burn does last, but I'm not getting any flavor in that burn after that long.
I'm going to taste it again.
I really like it. It's got a nice little spiciness to it.
I like it.
A tiny little bit of clove.
Yep.
But it's not
That's
like
kind of tied up with the mint, though.
cloying like a clove can be. A clove can be overbearing sometimes, but it's just a little.
What word did you
little
say?
kiss. Overbearing?
No.
Oh.
Cloying?
Cloying.
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 English major.
I've never heard you say that before, so.
No?
A cloying scent is one that lingers. Like,
It's a little overbearing.
like great grandma's Jean Naté.
Jean Naté After Bath Splash is for people who want to take charge of their life. It makes your body and your mind so fresh, so new. You get the feeling there's nothing you can't do.
Gina Tate.
Yeah, I have to agree with Scott for being such a complex blend. Very strong punch on the palate when you first sip.
Yeah.
I mean, the flavor hits you all up front, moves throughout the palate, and then falls off. I guess I would generously call this a medium finish.
Yeah.
But I would not call this a long finish.
No.
I added a couple of drops as well.
That
and
helps
it
tone down.
definitely toned down the, I don't like to say burn because that's like a negative connotation.
Yeah.
Well, the heat.
But
Yeah, heat.
yes, the spicy.
I think you could taste the 36% rise at the back of this taste, near the finish for sure. Jump ahead. What does Breaking Bourbon say about the finish?
You just want to hear the finish? Or you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
hear,
yeah.
You want to hear
I would-
everything?
I would
you
like to hear the notes.
You jump to the finish.
Well,
I'll fine do it in order. That makes the most sense. I agree.
Do
Yeah.
you read the last few pages of a book too?
In case I die. Yeah, no, I don't know. I heard someone say that. I always read the end of the book in case I die before I finish it. Like, that's a terrible way to live.
well, if you're going to stay alive for another 5 minutes, then let's just do the regular tasting notes.
Well,
That is the
it's
plan.
always a question. For
Well,
me.
hold on. Let's see. So, Paula, what are you getting on the palate?
Honestly, I have a tendency to keep a little more quiet because I'm in such agreement with what everyone is saying.
yeah.
So yes, there was definitely the heat that comes through. I did definitely get a quicker finish, ended sooner than it lingered, obviously. And but it was still enjoyable. So initially, yes, you had that unusual minty feel a little bit.
Yeah.
But then that tapered off pretty quickly.
There's almost a hint of like dill, like you get on like a Willet rye or something. Just a hint of
Interesting.
it, but that just enhances that herbaceousness that you were just talking about.
Wait, I just think it's funny that he already brought up pickles.
Oh, dill.
Do you want dill?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
What's the dill with that?
It's no big deal.
On the nose, caramel, maple syrup, raw walnuts, vanilla with subtle oak. Well, you did pretty good there.
We did.
Not bad.
The walnuts, I don't know.
Walnuts.
About that.
Walnuts.
Oh, on the palate, thick mouthfeel.
Yep.
Agreed.
Buttercup.
Caramel, chocolate, raw honey. Somebody said
Yep,
honey.
that was me.
Cinnamon, maple candies, cherries, pears, and pepper. I mean,
Spicy.
Yeah.
the spiciness is
We got a lot of that.
on the finish. Moderately long with vanilla, mint, pepper, and cinnamon. Look at that.
Well done.
but
Pretty good.
Moderately long.
Moderately long, it says. Moderately short, I would call it. And maybe this was with water. This is the whiskey apostle, just to get somebody new.
You know, with water, have you put a couple drops in, Scott?
I did.
The finish goes longer.
Yeah. And it brings out a little bit more pepper.
I'm still tasting stuff now.
But the vanilla mint. Do you remember?
Yeah, the Wellermints.
Vellemans?
Yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah,
Vellemans?
funny.
Great tasting Vellemin.
You've never tasted a mint like this.
Breathtaking Vellemin.
You've never felt fresher.
So cool and fresh. They take your breath away.
That's so weird that we both remembered it.
Yeah,
because that
that's
was the
what
only
it-
vanilla mint I've ever had.
That's what the finish tastes like. Those vanilla mints we had when we were kids. Those are square. I love them. I
Yeah.
would eat a whole thing in like 10 minutes.
I can say with 100% certainty, I have never had one.
Really?
Yeah.
You remember them though? No?
Not really.
Oh, yeah.
but,
Oh.
but she's convinced that unless we set this up ahead of time, they did exist because we both said it at the same time. Except typical me, I said Wellermints, which was the improper.
Well,
You're thinking of Weller.
Well,
Weller mints.
you know,
Mint candies made from Weller 12 year. That would be nice.
I'm still fascinated by the dabbing it on like perfume.
Yeah. That didn't really do anything for me.
It did for me.
They did? What'd you get?
I mean, I don't know that I got anything different. It just smelled
Oh.
completely different than what it smelled like
In the glass.
Yep.
Oh.
If you're ever just not sure what you're getting because it's swirling in your nose, if you do that, you kind of spread it out across your hand a little bit. It'd be nice if your hand was clean, everybody, but and then just let it sit there for about 10 seconds and give it a smell, and you're going to smell a lot of the notes. It's just a way to do it. I didn't believe it either when I saw it done online, and I've done it, and you know what? Sometimes it's really helped me smell stuff.
Wow.
A little dabble do ya.
Brill cream, a little dabble do ya. Brill cream, you look so debonair. Brill cream, the gals will all pursue ya. They'll love to get their fingers in your hair.
Well, mine smells like cheese board.
Wow.
Again, clean hands.
Clean hands.
Alleah and Paula brought this gigantic
hands.
cheese board. You heard it last week.
Last
Yeah.
week's episode?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So overall thoughts. Ed, since we've tasted the 5 and the 6 before, where do you place it among them?
I got to tell you, I think it's third of them.
Yeah.
It's a very good whiskey for 104 for the bottle. It's not better than Larceny I got for 64, I'll tell you that much. It's
No.
unique. I'm a big fan of Remus and MGP. You know I am. So not to disparage this by itself, but since you asked the question, it's not as good as 5 or 6 in my opinion. I wish Doug was here to let us know his opinion because
No.
he's pretty well palated on 5 and 6.
Yeah. And I would agree with that. This is not as good as 5 and 6, but it's still a good whiskey. Like, it's still
Absolutely.
terrific.
Well, let's ask the ladies. They never had it. They own
yeah.
it. So.
Yeah, what do you ladies think?
Without obviously being able to compare it to 5, 6, or other, I enjoy it. I don't know that I would pay over $100 for it.
Right.
Yeah, that's a question.
So, not when
So many whiskeys
better
out there.
options. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, since you're pouring, fantastic.
Pour me another
Yeah.
round.
Yeah. You're pouring this like European, but a different continent
You're
altogether.
pouring.
No, I do agree. I mean, I really can't compare it to the others, but in the course of ones that I have drank in the past, I did enjoy it. Again, being here with you guys and experiencing it for the first time has been a delight, but it's not something I would go out of my way to have in my regular at home, but I would definitely drinking out, with friends and, have a good time.
Sure,
Basically-
right. It's not a bottle, it's a bar, right?
Translation.
You get it at the bar.
If any of my friends at the lounge want to pour this from their locker, I'll be happy to drink it.
Hey, Doug
Well, yes.
definitely got the 7. I'm sure he does.
Right, but me, I'm not going to buy the bottle. That's what I'm hearing from Paula.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her. I already bought the bottle, so I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to enjoy drinking this. It's not like it's a pour out. It's a very good whiskey.
Very good.
It is.
We're being very critical of it. And there's a very good chance once this bottle's open for a week, it could taste completely different.
I'll be happy to come back.
So you want to hear about their other expressions that they have that I mentioned in the short history? Okay, so they have a straight bourbon. We actually tasted this, Ed, if you remember, on part 2 of our sourcing whiskeymentary. Back in season 4, the George Remus, it's 94 proof, 5 to 6 years aged, undisclosed mash bill, but it's a blend of 2 high rye bourbon mash bills, possibly 2 of the same bourbon mash bills that are in this. Sweet with notes of maple and vanilla, characteristic rye, and a smooth long finish. That's only $35 to $40.
It's a great bottle to keep around.
It's very reasonable.
sure, yep.
Yeah. They have something called the highest rye bourbon.
It's infused with marijuana. No, I'm kidding.
51% corn, 39% rye, 10% malted rye. So it's almost a rye.
Yeah.
109 proof, robust candied fruit, caramel, vanilla, sweet cream, fig, mint grass, spicy cinnamon, nutmeg, and a lingering saddle leather finish. There's your leather, Alleah.
That's Ed.
Oh, that's right. $45 to $55. They have single barrels. We don't have to go through that. They have something called the Gatsby Reserve.
Yes.
Named after the title character in F. Scott Fitzgerald's novel, The Great Gatsby, rumored to be based on George Remus, the man himself. 98.1 proof, 15 years aged. The mash bill varies, so is the taste. It's $200, but I've seen it on the secondary for $300. And the Volstead Reserve, a one-time release of 6,000 bottles created to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Volstead Act, which enforced Prohibition. 100 proof, 14 years aged, 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley, $200 when it was released, but up to $900 on the secondary now because you can't get it anymore. And that's it.
All right.
You know, it's interesting because as soon as I saw the bottle, it gave me Gatsby feels.
Yeah.
100%.
It's very designed, that Art Deco 20s look.
All right. So if you want to go out there and try the newest Remus, it's out, the 7. It's about $100 and a couple bucks. If you're like us and you want to see what they're doing every year, go get it.
Or just become friends with Scott and Ed, and you can get it for free.
We're very friendly.
We're very friendly. We're free pourers, too.
Great friends.
We are.
Yeah.
Here, Leah, have some more.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So for the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, I'm Ed.
I'm Scott.
I'm Alleah.
And Paula.
Cheers, everybody.
Later.
Salud.